It's 4:30 on WKYT this morning. Investigators say they may now know why a woman fell to her death last month at Raven Run in Lexington. WKYT's Garrett Weimer asked Raven Run hikers if they feel safe. More on that coming up this morning.
And tension among Knox County School Board members is growing. 3 board members voted not to renew the superintendent's contract last night.
Police in Hardin County say they have seen some strange thefts of lumber. We'll hear from a lumber theft victim ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. It's so good to have you with us. Here we are on Wednesday, Hump Day. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Meredith Jones. And I don't know about you, but I heard a lot of noise last night from Mother Nature.
Well, we had some thunder in the area.
We did.
It wasn't as bad as it could have been, I guess, and we've had only some minimal damage. We'll be showing you some of that. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris in our First Alert Weather Center.
Yeah, for the most part, just loud thunderstorms rolling on through. We did have, like Bill and Meredith were talking about, we did have a couple of reports here and there, but for the most part, it was just some heavy downpours, a lot of lightning, just not fun to try to fall asleep in. Now just a few showers across the area. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s. Pretty good feel once again outside this morning. Once we hit the afternoon, guess what? 78 degrees, more storms in the forecast. That not only goes for today, but we have chances all the way throughout your 7-day forecast. I'm going to show you that in just a few minutes.
And we'll see in just a bit. Let's get to the news.
The Knox County Board of Education gathered for the first time last night since the board chair resigned. Now, as we told you last week, Dexter Smith is accused of cheating on the GED exam.
But the board meeting focused on the superintendent, whose contract was not renewed by the board. The remaining members of the board are split on whether to keep him. WKYT's Monique Blair has more details on a heated meeting.
We want to know why.
More than 200 people in the audience say they want to know why. In March, 3 board members voted not to renew Superintendent Kelly Sprinkle's contract. And now that Dexter Smith is no longer a board member, the 2 board members who do want to renew Sprinkle's contract motioned to withdraw the previous vote.
Mr. Hinkle?
Yes.
I vote no. Mr. Meredith?
Yes.
Ms. Gray?
No.
All right, no action.
The 2 school board members who voted to renew Superintendent Sprinkle's contract refused to adjourn the meeting, demanding an explanation from the 2 board members who voted against Superintendent Sprinkles.
We just gave this young man an evaluation. We had 1 board member that abstained from that evaluation. Now, if you cannot evaluate this young man, why are you going to vote to destroy his career?
Several audience members shouted out questions to board member Vicki Gray and Vice Chairman Merle Smith.
I'm going home.
They walked out of the meeting. Can you tell us why you're choosing not to comment on something that so many people want to know the answer to?
The answer's done been given. The board decided to go another direction. That was the reason. The superintendent wasn't fired, just the contract wasn't renewed.
What's the other direction? Do you want someone else? Is there someone
That's correct. Yeah, just decided to go with somebody else and go another direction. That's it, no comment.
Superintendent Sprinkle's contract ends June 30th. The 2 board members and those in the community told me they'll continue to fight this decision until then. In Knox County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Now, by law, the Knox County School Board must have at least 3 votes in favor of a motion for it to pass. The Kentucky Education Commissioner has started the process to appoint a new board chairman.
The 2 frontrunners in the presidential race had big victories last night. Republican frontrunner Donald Trump swept up all 5 of yesterday's Northeast primaries. Clinton won all but 1. Now, neither candidate has enough delegates to win their party's nomination. Wei Jung has the latest from the campaigns.
CBS News projects Donald Trump has swept the Republican primaries in Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. Polls had predicted a strong performance by Trump, who has a message for his opponents.
They really should drop out of the race.
Ted Cruz is already focusing on next week's primary in Indiana.
Tonight, this campaign moves back to more favorable terrain.
Exit polls in Pennsylvania show 58% of Republican voters say the campaign has divided the party. CBS News projects Hillary Clinton will win the Democratic primary in Maryland, Delaware, and Pennsylvania.
We will unify our party to win this election and build an America where we can all rise together
Philadelphia will host the Democratic National Convention in July, when Clinton expects to accept her party's nomination. CBS News projects Bernie Sanders will win the Rhode Island primary.
Almost every national poll and every state poll has us defeating Trump, and that margin for us is significantly larger than that of Secretary Clinton.
A spokesman for Sanders says that while the Vermont senator will reassess his campaign after tonight, he will remain in the race until the convention. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Philadelphia.
The next primary will be on Tuesday in Indiana, where candidates have already begun campaigning.
Lexington police are trying to find the man who they say stole a car at knife point. Police tell us a pastor said that he was giving another man a ride to one of the hotels on Buena Vista Drive off Winchester Road. When he got there, police say that other man pulled out a knife, forced the pastor out of the car, and stole it. The pastor then went to a nearby gas station to call for help. At last check, police said they have not found the car. It's a white Kia Soul. They say the suspect is a white man in his late 30s who is scruffy looking, has a medium build, according to the description. He was also wearing a baseball cap. Investigators think they know why a woman fell to her death at Raven Run in Lexington last month. In a WKYT exclusive last night, we had details from the city's accident report. That report says Katie Stewart fell after leaving a marked trail to get a closer look at some animals. We talked with hikers at Raven Run about the report.
It was a pretty day at a pretty place, a perfect time for John Morgan's first time hiking Raven Run.
I feel very safe here, and it's actually a very nice area. We're very lucky to have it.
Morgan says he made sure, as he always does, to stay on the beaten path.
If you intentionally go off the trail, there's all sorts of land to do it, but there's no real reason to do it.
A report WKYT obtained from the Division of Risk Management says Katie Stewart fell to her death in an area not marked with a trail and passed a sign reading "Park Border, Do Not Cross."
It is our assessment that the victim unfortunately was about another 100 to 150 feet beyond that trail area.
March 19th.
Public Safety Commissioner Ronnie Baston says nothing could have been done differently to save Stewart, but the city's report raises some concerns. Its recommendations include steps to improve communication between first responders and park officials. Hikers like John Morgan say they just don't want to see railings or barriers.
It would be a shame if they had to do something to fence it off. It would be a tragedy, actually, because it's beautiful.
And the report says 2 people have died at Raven Run since 1995. Both deaths happened about the same area of the park. The report does mention putting up railings and barriers in the park, but it also says barriers would decrease Raven Run's natural integrity.
A man arrested in Kentucky for the murder of a Florida couple will soon be heading back to the Sunshine State. During a hearing in Hazard yesterday, Michael Harold agreed to be sent back to Florida. He was arrested in Perry County earlier this month, days after police say he killed John and Nancy Englehart in the Tampa area. Police say Harold worked for the couple in Florida, but he's originally from Perry County. Some unusual thefts have been occurring in Hardin County, and police say thieves are stealing lumber from barns and sheds. Police tell us they think the thieves are taking the lumber to sell outside the county. They say they've had at least 10 reports of these kinds of thefts. Now, one of the victims says it cost him up to $500 to repair the damage caused by the theft.
It's a real aggravation. Somebody would come and steal things like this, and they're going to make it fall down faster without the sides being on it.
So far, police say they have not made any arrests for the thefts.
A judge has ruled that 3 Democratic representatives in the State House can join a lawsuit against Governor Matt Bevin. That lawsuit seeks to stop him from cutting spending on state colleges and universities in the current year. Attorney General Andy Beshear filed the lawsuit, saying the governor does not have the authority to do that. Representatives Jim Wayne, Darrell Owens, and Mary Lou Marzian later asked to join the suit. A hearing in that lawsuit is to be held next week. And former Governor Steve Beshear is planning to hold a news conference conference this morning in Frankfurt. So far, he has not said what that will be about. Last week, Governor Matt Bevin said he had hired a private law firm to investigate reports of wrongdoing in Beshear's administration, which included claims of no-bid contracts to help friends. Time this morning is 4:40. It's 20 before 5 as you rise and shine on your Wednesday. And WKYT this morning is just getting started.
That's right. There could be a new, simple way to test for concussions very soon. We'll tell you about that new test when we come back on WKYT this morning.
Well, those thunderstorms have pushed on out. Now we're left with a few showers early this morning, but guess what? We have more storms in the forecast. I'm going to show you exactly when you can expect those coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We have some showers left over in the forecast region. Those storms have moved on. Now, they were loud. They were big boomers last night and yesterday evening. But once those moved on out, now the energy is lost. However, we still have a bit more to go as we travel throughout your afternoon off into the evening hours. Those showers outside really aren't causing many problems. You'll get a few sprinkles, a couple light showers passing by. That's about it. Then we're taking a big long break. So we will get breaks today. It's not going to be an all-day rain type of thing. It's going to be much like yesterday where you get a big break and then here come the thunderstorms later on this afternoon off into the evening hours. I believe this time around, though, it actually come a few hours earlier than what we felt yesterday. Remember, yesterday was a small and severe weather risk. Today's going to do the same thing. Even though we had a severe thunderstorm watch yesterday, we only had a few warnings. So just because you have a watch doesn't mean it's just widespread severe weather. It just means the conditions are right. And that's going to be the same story for today. We'll be in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. That's what we did yesterday, and also holding on to a few rumbles by the afternoon. I would say late afternoon off into the evening hours, that is your best bet to see these storms roll through. And once we approach midnight, those storms look to be on out of here, and we'll just turn those into showers once we go throughout the night and into tomorrow. It is a marginal risk of severe weather. Basically what we had yesterday, a slight risk just back toward the west. And for the most part, we expect the most severe weather to be back toward western Kentucky and make your way back toward Missouri today. But for us, once again, low-end severe weather risk, but it's still there. So that's something to watch as we travel throughout your afternoon off into the evening hours. Once we hit Thursday, a few showers, few rumbles of thunder left over, but that should push on out to make for a beautiful Friday. So we just got to get through another couple of days. These are really heavy downpours. You walked outside yesterday, you felt it. I mean, it's pretty sticky. It's sticky in the air, which means just a lot of moisture is around. So any storms that pass on through can tap into that moisture, throw down heavy downpours. A lot of us picked up some heavy rain yesterday. Then we go off towards your Friday. Friday, a nice break. Saturday and Sunday, that system mainly looked like Sunday the past couple of days, but it's increasing. So look for late in the day showers and thunderstorms on Saturday. And we'll look to have stormy conditions there on Sunday, too. It doesn't look like a great 7-day forecast. We have some pretty heavy rain, but this rain should knock out the rainfall deficit. That's what we need, so hopefully that'll take care of that. We'll see.
I've searched for the bright side. I guess you found it, right?
That's the only one we can come up with. That's right.
It'll help if you did any planting.
Well, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
I only say that because I just did.
Free water falling out of the sky. There you go.
All right, so maybe it'll help that along. There you go. Some good things now. 4:46 our time. Could be a major medical breakthrough.
A new study shows that doctors may soon be able to detect concussions with just a simple blood test. Moms Every Day has more.
A new study shows that doctors can detect evidence of a concussion up to a week after a patient is injured by using a simple blood test. This blood test extends the window in which concussions can be detected and treated. Doctors say it could be crucial because the symptoms of a concussion can be subtle or delayed. The study, published in the Journal of American Medical Association, analyzed 600 students. They found that a certain biomarker was detectable in the blood serum up to a week after a head trauma. The biomarker is unique to the brain, is released into the bloodstream following a head injury. The results could lead to more accurate and easy diagnosis of concussions.
That's the hope, is that just a small prick like we do with diabetes, to put it on a little slide and put it in the machine and to be able to get a reading from that. So that's what we're ultimately hoping will happen.
Researchers say the blood test could be crucial in helping to spot a concussion even if a patient doesn't seek treatment right away. For more information, visit momseveryday.com. I'm Rebecca Rainier.
For these tips and more, just go to WKYT.com and click on Moms Every Day.
Sure is good to have you with us ahead of the 5 o'clock hour. We're bright and early here on your Wednesday on WKYT, and so much more news is coming right up.
That's right. According to the CDC, 4 of the nation's 5 most vulnerable countries for rapid HIV spread are in Kentucky. Find out which counties those are when we come back this morning on WKYT.
It's now 4:50, 10 till 5 on WKYT this morning, the calm after the storms. We had a few of those
Yes.
last night, right? Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report has some alarming findings about the risk of HIV being spread among drug users.
Yeah, after nearly 200 HIV cases were diagnosed in a southern Indiana community, the CDC conducted a vulnerability assessment of counties most at risk of a rapid HIV spread through people who inject drugs. Well, of the top 220 counties listed in the report, 25% are in Kentucky. Wolfe County in eastern Kentucky is ranked number 1. Breathitt, Perry, and Clay counties were also in the top 5. The CDC based those rankings on the number of drug overdoses, unemployment, and opiate sales, among other factors. Now, health leaders in Perry County tell us they're concerned.
It's probably the most scared that I've been in the 23 years I've been with the health department.
Doctors in Perry County say they're working to educate the public about injection drug abuse, and they're trying to make sure people who are at high risk are tested for HIV.
Some people who live along an Anderson County road are suing the state, saying that safety changes need to be made to that road. The suit claims there have been dozens of crashes along Highway 151 near Alton in the last few years, many of them involving commercial vehicles. It also says the road presents a clear and present danger, and the commercial vehicles should not be allowed to travel on it. Others who live on the road support the lawsuit as well. They say they fear their homes could be damaged.
So far, we've been lucky, but then we know one of these days it's like playing Russian roulette.
The lawsuit also asked for a restraining order and an injunction that would force the state to limit the vehicles on the road. The State Transportation Cabinet has said it is asking the Federal Highway Administration to remove the road from the national truck network.
After 3 years in business, a well-known Lexington restaurant has shut down. The owner of Coba Cochina on Richmond Road says it won't be reopening. Lee Greer says that the business was losing too much money, but he says he's thankful for all of the loyal customers and employees.
It's somewhat of a mystery to me. I love Coba. I personally put up against anybody in the world for the food and the ambiance and the service, and especially at the price. It was, to me, a very special place, and maybe there's some magic left in the formula. We'll bring it back again.
If you have a Coba gift card, you'll be able to use it at both Cheddar's restaurants in Lexington or at Willie's, locally known on Southland Drive.
Well, it was interesting while it lasted there.
It was really cool. I liked it with the jellyfish.
Yeah, it was an interesting place, you know, but I guess all the business metrics just didn't work out. 4:53 the time this morning. Coming up, we'll take a look at what our reporters are working on for you this morning.
And we'll have another look at your morning forecast coming up.
Hey, good morning again, and welcome back into WKYT this morning. It is 4:56, rolling toward 5 o'clock on your Wednesday.
That's right. Now it's time to take a look at what we're working on this morning. Well, employees at a Lexington karaoke bar tackled and disarmed a man early this morning. They say they confronted the man after he pocketed money from a tip jar. Now that's when he pulled out a gun. WKYT's Mark Barber will be live from the bar this morning talking with employees.
So we'll be checking on that story. Also, it's the calm after the storms, and we had several of those rolling through in the overnight hours. Let's check in with Micah right now. It says we probably have some more on the way the next couple of days.
That's what it looks like, and you're already seeing one spark up back toward Bowling Green. That we're going to have that as we go through your day. All this is moving eastbound, and all this just showers as of right now. The thunderstorms have already moved on out, and it looks like we will get a break today, and then this afternoon, for much of your day that is, this afternoon off into the evening hours. Guess what? Here comes some more storms. They'll be on the increase during that time. Temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. So it's a nice feeling day, but here comes some more loud, noisy weather as we travel off into your evening. I'll talk all about that and show you the next few days off into your weekend coming up. Another 2 hours of WKYT News.